From what we know about Sarah, from the Bible and her legacy, is that she showed features of loyalty, patience, yet at times a wavering of faith in God. However, today, many recognize her as the mother of the Jewish nation due to her perseverance through old age and her dedication to God's promise for her to bear a child one day. Sarah was 10 years younger than her husband and half-brother Abraham, both of whom were born from the same father, Terah. It was believed that Sarah was considered beautiful, and for her own sake, Abraham would identify her as his sister so that he would be treated just as well as she was. However, as beautiful as she was, Sarah remained barren and was not able to have children, presenting a dilemma to Abraham, who was promised a nation from God, a nation that would begin with he and Sarah and their offspring. For the sake of this nation, Sarah turned to Hagar to bear a child with Abraham. He was 86, but Hagar would agree, and they soon had Abraham's son, Ishmael. God promised Sarah would have a son one day of her own, and he officially dubbed her name Sarah, meaning princess, and blessed her. Abraham was given assurance that Sarah would have a son. Not long afterwards, Abraham and Sarah were visited by three men. One of the visitors told Abraham that upon his return next year, Sarah would have a son. However, Sarah showed signs of doubt in God and laughed at the prophecy, thinking it never to come true. The visitor, who was an angel messenger from God, asked of Abraham why Sarah had laughed at the prophecy of having a child, because her age meant nothing to God. Scared for her own sake, Sarah replied that she did not laugh, a sign that she did not trust God's authority. However, soon enough, in a year's time, Sarah was pregnant and her faith in God was reinstated. Sarah was elated with the bearing of a child into the world, and the child that would soon become the leader of a Jewish nation. Abraham named the son Isaac under God's request, which in Hebrew means laughter, or he laughs. Sarah then remarked, God hath made me laugh, and all that hear will laugh with me. This remark depicts again her belief in God's power to grant both her and Abraham wish to bear a child. But it also depicts God's promise he gave to Sarah that she would one day bear a child, despite her age. Sarah's last test of loyalty remained ahead of her. After Isaac's birth, she and Abraham eventually moved to the land of the Philistines in Gerar. Again, Abraham had announced to the king, Abimelech, that Sarah was his sister. With the intention to lay with Sarah for the evening, Abimelech was visited by God in a dream. God told him that Sarah was a married woman, and that if he had laid hands on her, God would destroy his home, his family, and his kingdom. Abimelech awoke the next morning and confronted Abraham about his dream. Abraham admitted he thought he would have died if admitting to their marriage, because there's no fear of God in Abimelech's kingdom. Abraham defended his argument by saying, and yet indeed she is my sister. She is the daughter of my father, but not the daughter of my mother, and she became my wife. Abimelech soon returned Sarah to Abraham and gave him gifts of livestock and servants, and invited him to live wherever he pleased in Abimelech's kingdom. Even though she was a mother for only a short while on earth, Sarah has been forever known as the mother of a nation. Her loyalty to Abraham was tested in trying times. Her faith in God was tested when she was barren for almost a century. She even showed vision and purpose by encouraging a relationship between Abraham and Hagar for the betterment of her very own nation.